James O'Neill, back again, Columbia Credit Union with the Remodels Home Tour Virtual Edition, and we are back in Camas, and we are with Aaron Marvin, A.C.T. Builders, and I'm jumping right into this, Aaron, because I saw the before photos. I walk into this kitchen, and it looked like you added 400 square feet. It is just opened up, the lighting's coming in. I'm looking at this little nook area where I can eat some breakfast, drink my morning coffee, do whatever I want. Tell us a little bit how you got to this.
Yeah, in this project, we basically knocked down a non-bearing wall that separated the formal dining room from the existing kitchen, closed in a small doorway on the other side, and it allowed us to reconfigure the space, kind of combine the two together, which really freed up that flow so that you can have people in the dining room, at the bar, in the kitchen, and then over in this little reading nook that we created in this kind of voided space over off to the side as well. So in this kitchen we used DeWill's cabinetry throughout. All of the cabinets were custom designed to the space. With this being an older home, everything had to be made to meet the size parameters that we had to deal with. What do you got there, James?
Aaron, this is the complete cookbook for young chefs, and I'm not buying it. I'm looking at smoothies, and they're putting spinach in a smoothie and no sugar. I mean, who would have a smoothie with spinach and without sugar? Does that make sense to you?
I think what you're thinking of is a milkshake.
Oh yeah, I got to look at milkshakes. That's a good point. When I look at milkshakes, tell me about the storage space you created here.
Sure. Well, the idea of this space was to create a reading nook or an extra breakfast nook or some place where the family could kind of sit and relax in the kitchen. But then we had this unused space off to the side, and we needed a pantry space. So a shallow pantry cabinet was created, along with a little bit of a hidden storage here that's intended to be a backrest, so that if somebody is leaning up against the wall, which is why there's no hardware, but this particular cabinet is built just to kind of almost be like the catch-all drawer, or that catch-all space.
I'm looking at this, there's nothing about how to cook top ramen.
I think you just put hot water in it.
Oh, that just seems like a lot of work.
This kitchen did happen kind of right in the middle of COVID. The bathroom upstairs, actually, we were halfway through getting ready to tile when the order came from the governor that we were shut down. The supply chain was interrupted. There was a lot of challenges. For example, the sink was not here like it showed that it had been delivered. It was not delivered with everything else. And so we couldn't do the countertops, and because we had to delay the countertops, it delayed the backsplash, which delayed the paint. And so it was a challenge to kind of get that back on track. And we run across that frequently now in the post-COVID world. We work really hard to make sure that everybody feels safe with us in their home, as well as the fact that we are working to comply with what's expected of us. In addition to that, making sure that our projects get completed in a manner that's up to the caliber that we would expect and is what we've agreed upon in our contract. We want to make sure that we're living up to our end of the bargain, even though things have gotten a lot harder.
So this house was built in the 40s, and I have a lot of friends, and I'm sure you do as well, that have houses in the similar time range. When I go downstairs, it's a complete unfinished basement, and I always hear this, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna plan to do that, and this could be their 12th, 13th year of living there. But when are you gonna take that step and do it? Well, you were kind of throwing a curveball here, and the client wanted to get this finished, but you were really restricted on time and getting it done. So tell us how you accomplished that.
Sure, yeah. In this particular case, the clients needed to move her parents into the basement so that they could help take care of them. They needed to sell their current home and get here as quickly as possible so that they could have the family support. And so with that, we had to kind of coordinate the efforts to make sure that we were able to get the bathroom done, the little kitchenette, move all the mechanical and plumbing and electrical systems up into the space in the ceiling, just to kind of create as open and non-basement feeling a space as we could. Try to get the ceiling lifted as high as possible, just so it was a very comfortable space for them to come and live with the support of their family upstairs.
I'm real fortunate where I get to see these remodeled homes in person. And those before and after photos of what I'm standing in now really is amazing. And for all hands on deck and your team getting together and getting this done in 6 weeks, it's truly amazing. I mean, it is fantastic work. And getting this done in 6 weeks, really, you're putting your plan in place and you're executing it. And hats off to your team.
Thank you. We work really hard to manage and maintain our schedules. Obviously, there's times, like I said, upstairs with the kitchen, where things happen, especially in the post-COVID world, that are kind of out of our control. But we always work really, really hard to make it as short a duration as possible so that the families are inconvenienced for the least amount of time. Nobody likes people in their house for that long, and we recognize that. And so we always work to make it as comfortable an experience and as fast an experience as we possibly can, while providing the quality of finishes that our clients expect.
Aaron, I've been to the DeWill's showroom. Why do I feel like I'm in like the showroom at DeWill's? It just looks like I've been in this room.
All right, well, you may have seen some of these cabinets before. They were used in their corporate center, in their conference room, and we had the opportunity to repurpose them here in the basement.
So if these came from DeWill's, that these are more than likely over 5, over 10 years old, they don't look used, man.
Right, they are in perfect condition, which is why when the opportunity arose that we could use them, and they fit in the space, we jumped all over it, because it really didn't make sense to not use cabinets that are in such good condition. We were able to repurpose them so that, I mean, you can really see it. It adds a whole bunch of workspace, a whole bunch of storage, and we didn't have to do anything. We just pulled them out, put them right back in, and they work fantastic.
You know, that really shows a lot of the quality and the craftsmanship of DeWill's, because I'd actually like to see if these could last that long in my house, because I'm sure my kids could beat these things pretty good. But I mean, that is over 10 years old and they are holding up fantastic. It's about 12 feet ceilings, 12 feet?
I think it's about 5'6".
5'8". 5'8"? 5'9"?
Maybe.
Okay. When your client's parents are moving in here, you want to make sure they're comfortable, and when you're designing the room down here, you want to make sure they can also maintain their independence. So tell me about your strategy on that when you were putting all this together.
Right, well, as a whole, we always try to move accessibility and universal design into all of our projects. It just makes sense. It's more comfortable, it's more spacious, it's more flowing. But that's especially true when we start talking about mother-in-law quarters, or spaces for you to move your older family members into. You want to make sure that they're maintaining their independence while doing it safely and comfortably. And so a lot of this space was designed around the ability to transition later on into potentially a walker, or if there was ever a wheelchair or additional help needed. For example, in this bathroom, there's grab bars in the shower. There's plenty of space around and beside the toilet. We oriented everything so that it could be wheelable someday, if that ever became necessary. And that's just a way to help easily transition spaces without having to do a lot of renovating to them later, if any of the major what-ifs in life were to come up.
You know, when I walked down these stairs and entered this room, to me it didn't seem like it was really a refinished basement. It looks like an apartment. I mean, it really does. I mean, it looks looks like they could charge rent here. I mean, even at Airbnb.
Right.
All right, so we're in an upstairs bathroom. I saw the before photos. The shower was there,
right.
Now there's a sink. The toilet was there, now there's a fan. The window was here, now there's a shower. How? How did you change? How did you do this?
Magic.
Magic! I knew it. A.C.T. is awesome,
right.
And magical.
That's it, right? I have a Harry Potter wand on my desk at my office. In the space, we just needed to look at how to reconfigure and use it better. And so it made sense to go with a pedestal sink, move the toilet, and line up the shower in a little bit more traditional way for a modern bathroom. Back behind us, there was an oversized window. And what we love doing is taking that space for the window, kind of compressing the window, giving it a little bit smaller space up above, and then using down below where there was already a gap to create this soap niche. That gives it that modern feel with a lot of additional storage, and that makes it really usable. All right, so in this bathroom, one of the desires was to make sure that it looked like it flowed with the house and could have potentially always been here. So we went with a traditional subway tile, a traditional hex pattern on the floor. Really pulled it all together. We love the fact that CFM offers so many different types of tiles. It allows us to range from a very traditional like this to some of the new, more modern projects that we have. But on this particular project, we got all of our tile on all 3 levels from Contract Furnishings Mart. And it just turned out fantastic.